Welcome everybody, welcome back. Another episode of Hangin Loose, BB here, and on Melbourne CBD with these awesome mumpreneurs.
Yeah, is that what we are? I don't even know what we are.
We can be that.
We can be that
today.
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's do that.
They're the creators of Australian Teenage Expo.
Yep.
Authors of
The Two Worlds of Your Teenager.
I remember.
Give ourselves a bit of a plug for that
You
one.
can. Southern F.
Big W.
And all good bookstores.
Yeah. Or SoniaandSacha.com.au. No plug-in at all.
And these two awesome ladies are going to take over and I'll just sit there. Hosts of the radio show on Southern FM.
That's correct. Yep. Sonia and Sacha show was a hard
Sonia and
one to
Sacha
come up
show.
with that one.
Correct. That was pretty original.
Yeah, I know. We workshopped that one for
2 days. 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah.
What else? You guys do some great stuff. You speak in schools, corporate speaking.
Yep.
Anything else to add to the highlight reel or the
TV show?
intro?
TV show. We write for the Herald Sun and about 108 different Fairfax newspapers and things.
Yeah.
I can't think.
Oh,
we're mums.
Yeah, we're mums. We've got lots of children.
Yeah.
And
we keep giving birth.
No, we don't. Factory's closed. And what else do we do? We've got a podcast coming out next month.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I still have to introduce you. I still have to introduce you. So I met these two awesome chicks at a Success Resources Australia event when Gary Vaynerchuk came out to town, which was in October or November.
Yeah, November.
And I remember walking in that day and I was feeling super excited about seeing Gary V, and I was walking down the front and I hear everyone mingling around, and then I saw, I think, the back of your red, striking, flaming red hair, and I was like, I'm going to go sit over there.
Aww.
And we sat down and then we started talking, and then one thing led to another thing, and then we caught up on the Southern FM show, and then since then we've been following each other around and stalking each other on Instagram and stories, and here we are today. Welcome, I'm super stoked to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Is this what we do that, right?
No, everyone's getting excited.
Hey, too early, right?
Too early.
I'm a bit mad at my seminars now. Anyway, yeah.
So this show's all about Hangin Loose. It's about unplanned, unrehearsed, uncut. So I just want to hear a little bit about your journey, how you got to this point in the first place, how you wrote a book, how you created the Teenage Expo, all the cool stuff you've done. I'm curious to know how you guys got together in the first place. Where did it all begin?
Well, we actually met at an event, and one of our friends told us that we should both meet each other because we both speak in schools, and that's a bit of a weird job. So they said you should meet her because she does the same job as you. And then I went along to an event and I met Sonia, and I thought she was like strikingly beautiful, just as what you did. And I went up to her and I said, "Hi, how you doing?" And then I realised that I knew her. And Sonia's background is in nightclubs, and she had rejected me from a few nightclubs back in the day when we were going out.
A few nightclubs, just one.
Just one.
Which ones? Because I think
the Ivy.
wasn't that in Sydney?
No, Russell Street. Was it?
Right.
Yeah.
Russell Street.
Yeah.
Russell Street.
Russell.
Yeah. Russell and what?
Flinders Lane.
Flinders Lane.
She was like a door bitch, right?
She was a door bitch, yeah.
Completely.
And so Sonia rejected
I
me.
made my whole career on it just about. But it's all been,
Yes, lucky that you were.
Yeah, that's where
Lucky
my
you were.
stories come from.
And then after I just went, oh, can I
But
have your number?
she lined up in the VIP line.
Well, because I think I'm VIP.
And I was like,
even when I was at 12, I thought it was VIP.
I was like, Miss, go by the rules, because I was like,
get to the back of the line.
my team was pretty strict.
Yeah, I was the short fatty that was rejected out in the rain.
Let's say that, and then where's your VIP? Where's your VIP? I don't have one. I'm going to get over
back
there.
of the line, yeah.
So I didn't reject. I said it nicely.
Anyway, it's broken my heart, but it's alright. I've had therapy before. We've been together 17 years now.
17 years.
18.
We're going into 18.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. That's the year 2000 and you would have met.
That's correct.
Yeah. Same year I met my wife in year 2000.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, everyone's happy.
And then I rang Sonia the next day. I think we were on the phone for about 4 hours. And then I said, look, you come to my gig. I went to her gig. We realised that we had the same kind of style and the way that we presented to young people. We're both passionate about the same issues, and that's about giving young people positive options, choices and opportunities, and to be able to have a great life. And we figure the more a young person feels good about themselves, the better choices that they'll make, and then the better adult that they'll become. So we both had this passion to be able to do that. And then we thought to ourselves, well, why don't we start marketing our businesses together? Because our target market is schools. We began marketing our businesses together, and then we kind of organically, as you would say, created this brand together. And then we both, like, it's kind of like weird. We have all of these things in common, and then we both got pregnant at the same time. Different husbands. nothing weird, right?
Yeah.
And we both got pregnant at the same time. Then we went along to this event called the Pregnancy and Babies Expo, and we came out of there because we had no idea what to do with babies, and we came out of there
So
thinking,
true.
what do we do? And then we just started talking, and so she said, well, there's nothing like this for teenagers. So then we just thought, well, why don't we create that? And that's how we created the Australian Teenage Expo.
That's
As
so
you do
inspiring,
with
like-
brand new babies.
So that was an event that was pretty huge. So we started off with the Melbourne Showgrounds
Yeah.
for 4 years.
Yeah. 55,000 young people.
Are you
came.
kidding?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
about 9,000 teenagers that would come through the gates. So it was a couple of days event, and we had a 3,000 square metre exhibition space that we filled with exhibitors that just were only there for teenagers, and we told them, we've got number one golden rule, you cannot be boring, you have to be, you know, exciting and engaging and talk to them, because we had services there, so we knew that, you know, teenagers weren't going to go up and say, hey, I've got an eating disorder, or I've got a problem with
Sure.
drugs, or whatever.
Yeah.
So we said that agencies had to be engaging and had to sort of, you know, draw them in and make a connection. And it was really successful because we had feedback from them later on that just said, you know, we got stacks of calls, or we got stacks of, you know, interaction on our social media or through our website later on. So that was the key, yeah, was for them to make a connection with the young person.
Yeah.
They would take their information away, and then when they were by themselves and they felt comfortable to do it, they would say, I need some help. So that was, you know, the number one goal was to make sure that we created those connections. And then we had a show that we did, which was, we seated 1,500 in an auditorium, and we would, Sacha and I would both speak, and we, you know, during the year would collect these crazy talented young people who would perform for us. So we put this whole show on that had a theme running through it.
Yeah.
So they'd like get pumped up in the show, and then we'd set them loose on the exhibitors.
Fantastic.
We
Yeah.
do like 2 or 3 shows a day, each with 1,500 students, and it was incredible. Like, it was amazing, and that's how we just kind of got the name Sonia and Sacha show.
Yeah.
That's how it was, because we were the only 2 adults actually in the show. The rest were all young people, and that gave young people an incredible opportunity, because where would you get the opportunity as a performer or a talented young person to be able to get an audience of that size that were your peers? So their social media would just go through the roof.
And we still work with these young people now.
Yeah.
Say
Phenomenal.
it's one of the best things we ever did, because they would get on stage and the kids would have their phones in the audience, and so they'd be hitting like and, you know, following straight away, and their social media just blew up. And then we took them on tour around Australia. So we went, we put an application form out to every secondary school in Australia and said, we've got this show that we're prepared to bring to your communities. And we went to some crazy small tiny towns in the middle of nowhere. They would never get this kind of stuff, you know. And we went to places where, you know, they'd had floods where houses were literally floating down the river and the community was just down, and we came in and pumped them up, and
It's awesome.
yeah, and
So
then we
you-
had kids standing on chairs with their phones lit up, and
Yeah, it
girls
was fun.
dancing, and you know.
So it really impacted like a massive amount of kids all
Yeah.
over the country.
Yeah.
Oh, well, not just that, with our speaking gigs, I think we're probably up to like more than 1 million young people that we've
we're
spoken
down
to.
way more.
Way more. I don't even know.
So we both
Yeah.
do more than 200 speaking gigs a year in schools and universities and companies and with parents. So literally, it was like more than one a day that we're in front of now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah,
It's really
yeah,
fun. So
imagine
we're lucky
it is
that
up
we get to
there.
hang out with you.
Yeah, no, well, I feel blessed
No,
to be around,
not at all.
be around you
You're
guys.
amazing.
And obviously, you know, like I think when you put energy out there into the universe, the right people show up, right? And I
Oh
think
God, that's what it was.
that's why we met, right?
Well, that's what it was, right?
Yeah,
you,
of course.
You came up and
Of
said,
course.
"Is anyone sitting here?" I'm like, "You are."
Yeah,
Bang,
that was it.
chat,
Bang, and
on.
off we went. And I've come from that corporate background, and where I'm now in the space where I'm putting passion before profits, and it's kind of like everything just kind of playing out, kind of a little bit slower than what I'd hope it to do, because I'm impatient little shit at times,
Yeah.
right?
So are we.
Don't know what
Yeah,
you're
okay,
talking about.
we
Yeah.
are
That
impatient,
concept,
yeah.
And so from there, right? So then the book came out after that.
Oh yeah, just like that was with
Just
our
went
book.
bang?
You know how long it took us to write that book? 10 years. 10
We
years.
picked it up, we
like,
put it down. We
Yeah.
weren't
We had
going at
kids
a
in
table like
between.
you are. Yeah, we literally started it 10 years ago, and then the
Takes
GFC
time.
happened,
Yeah.
and no one was publishing anybody, so
Right.
we just put it on the back burner, and
Yeah.
then we had kids, and we picked it up and put it down, picked it up, put it down.
Yeah.
And then last year it was like, right, let's do this, and Finch Publishing picked it up, and so it sold out its first print run before it had even hit the shelves, so
Right.
that was
I know,
pretty
which is
awesome.
crazy.
Yeah.
Because, like, we probably, well, I know I probably would have failed English at school, so the fact that I've even written a book freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah. As a teenager at high school, I really struggled with English, and I sit here today as I'm writing a book, and I'm like, feel like I'm sticking it to my English teacher, right? But in a good way, you know. Like,
Well, Sonia bumped into my English teacher not that long ago and said she wrote a book, and he goes, "Really?" that was a bit
But
weird.
why can't you, right? There's spell check, there's editors, there's all kinds of people now. Like anyone can write a book. You want to put your stuff down, put your thoughts down.
But you still even like I know
It's
that.
only self-issues that stop it.
Yes, it is.
100%.
But it's also now, obviously, we're older, so my writing skills have obviously improved.
And I'm lucky for giving it a crack.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, that makes a difference,
And,
right?
and then you're open enough to go, I'm going to put that story out, I'm
Yeah.
going to write it down, and then I'm going to dissect it and read it 1,000 times and pull it apart and write it better and do it again and add the juicy stuff and take out the boring stuff, you know.
That's it, yeah. And I think it's that
Because you're not going to
vulnerability.
get it the first time.
Yeah. So I've got a lot more rewriting to do.
Oh, there's like you
But
would
I just want to send
rewrite
it off to an editor and let them do it.
No, that's not how it's going
Because
to work.
they'll edit it and then you've got to go back over.
Right, that's-
and then
that's very
they'll
much
have
it.
another go and then you've got to go.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole.
Yeah.
But what were you saying about vulnerability?
I think that's where like the stories actually, and especially with youth, if you can be vulnerable and share vulnerability. And I believe, in my opinion, vulnerability is the number one tactic that's underutilised in business.
Totally agree.
And also connecting with youth. And I think that's one of my strengths that I play to. And anytime in business where I go into business meetings, I wouldn't be trying to sell stuff. I'd just be trying to connect with the other person at a human level and make them feel comfortable. Then all of a sudden they share their vulnerabilities, and then all of a sudden you've got connection and teamwork, collaboration. And then who are they going to likely do business with?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's been
It's
my
trust.
approach. Absolutely.
Every meeting that we had when we were putting the expo together, we had hundreds of them.
Hundreds.
Our first thing was to give them something. This was our formula.
Yeah.
Come to the meeting, give, make them laugh, high five. We never went out of a meeting
No,
without a
never.
high five.
We went into the Prime Minister's office and high-fived.
Yeah. Make
Wasn't
them
Bob
laugh.
Hawke.
No, that long ago, God, you're making us feel really old.
You know
now.
Jules.
Jules?
Jules, bit of Jules.
Yeah.
And then we would say, this is what we've got, would you want to be involved? And when you create, you're right, when you create your relationship and
Yeah.
you be honest and you be genuine and you, because we would often go into these very corporate scenarios, and we are clearly not very corporate people. None of us sitting here on the couch are very corporate people. And I love that, like be a bit of a disruptor, you know, change the
100%.
energy a little bit
Yeah.
and make them laugh and bring it back down again. We don't have to get into that whole, this is how you speak and this is all the corporate jargon and blah, 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 you know, just be us and
Yeah.
be real. And they're like, how are these chicks going in here doing?
Yeah.
And they would love it.
Yeah.
And also be vulnerable. And I think that's one of the things, and I don't know what it is, how Sacha and I do it. I'm probably preempting one of your questions, but we went to New York and we interviewed some, pretty high profile people.
Yeah.
And we've got them saying things about their childhood and about being a teenager that made them very vulnerable. And I think the only reason why people actually do that is because they feel that same kind of energy from us and that we set that space up in that way. As soon as we
Sure,
get in
absolutely. 100%. So you've been over to New York
Yes.
and you interviewed Gary Vee,
Gary
Yeah.
Vee was very, very
which I was like totally blown away. Here I am meeting you girls, and then
But you met Gary Vee too.
I did too, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And then I think I saw your approach in action going to give, and you gave.
Oh, we gave Tim Tams, Vegemite, we gave everything.
And then the next minute, I see you appearing on a Gary Vee show,
Yeah.
and interviewing about all sorts of stuff about his childhood, where he shared stuff about his mother's love, mother and father's love.
Yeah.
All sorts. How was that? Like, I mean, for a lot of people, it's a dream, right?
Well, do you know what it is? It's about actually living in the moment. Like I've now learned, I'm really big on living in the moment and gratitude and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But after coming out of that experience, I even have learned even more about living in the moment. Like right now, what am I actually feeling and what's the energy and stuff like that? Because what's going to happen is this is going to last like this long, and then you're going to walk out and you're going to wish you were back
I
in
know,
there.
that's
And
true.
you're going to go, I forgot, what did they say? How did that feel? What was going on? So busy thinking, what's the next question? What's going to do this? Instead of just going,
I haven't got the next question, so don't worry.
well, no. Because you kind of go, you get it with Gary Vee, you don't get like a whole lot
Correct,
of time. You don't
yeah,
get a lot of time
yeah.
to stuff it up and go, excuse me, can we do it again? Or whatever it might be. So you've got, I've got to be on the ball, on that. So then you walk away thinking, oh, I was so busy thinking about that I was I actually really listening?
Yeah.
And then you walk away and you go, well, what did they really say? And how did I actually feel? And what was the energy from that question? Or Sonia will take out some information from one question and I'll take out another. So like one of the things he said is whatever you're doing, go harder at it, or put your opinion across harder. And that's even more made me want to say, well, sometimes you hold back on your opinion.
Yeah.
Because publicly people might think, oh, that's a little bit harsh or it's a little bit full on. Like Sonia and I have this thing that we will laugh at anything. Like we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah, I get that.
Right? We do not take ourselves
Yeah.
seriously at all. And so, but yet if you overheard some of the conversations of the things that you'd laugh at, you'd go, those girls are wrong. Right? It's not right to be laughing at stuff like that. Whereas now I'm kind of like, to hell with what you think, I'm laughing. And I know that it's a really sensitive, touchy issue, but we're either going to cry, so we might as well laugh.
What's it?
You know? And so I like that. Gary's like, believe in what you believe and do it harder. And so I think that was one of the things that I took out.
And he's unwavering. Like he doesn't flinch away. He is so
Present.
deadly serious and absolutely connected, but also just knows from the pit of his soul that he's going to be one of those people like Nelson Mandela or a one named Bono or a Beyonce or someone like that. He said, because I know how to get into every single market in this world, and I know how to make them understand who I am and get my messaging across, and he will do it. You look in that man's eyes,
100%.
and there's nothing that says like, I don't care who you are, you're in my way, you're out,
like whatever.
go. And at the same time, he balances that with empathy and gratitude and compassion.
Yeah.
Which is such an intoxicating mix. You know, like the guy's got charisma. There's no
100%. When you listen to it, he's like.
But you know when you want to, completely. But you know when you want to, like you meet somebody and you think you're awesome, right? And I love his content. We've been watching it. It's filtered in. And when you meet somebody and you spend some time with them and you're like, are you like really for real? Like, are you 100%?
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking for 1 single second where you flinch.
Yeah, I know. He's trying to like,
where is it?
Where is it?
Where is it? We sat in front of that man, not for 1 second. Did he lose connection with us?
Yeah.
Like he was fully there. And this man is timed to the minute, his day. Because at the end of our interview, and this was the only time that he disconnected, he looked up at his chief of staff and said, how far am I behind? And he said, 24 minutes. He said, you're 24 minutes behind. It's not like about this or about that.
Yeah.
It's like, you're 24 minutes behind. He said, that's all right, keep going, let's go for another couple of minutes. And then he was back straight into it. You know, not 1 second did he go, did he look like, all right, well, I need to be somewhere else, He was fully involved in what we were saying and fully prepared to give. And it was so cool at the end because he's got a bunch of media people, like the first 2 rows of desks and offices and spaces outside his office, like the entrepreneur room, you know, where all the stuff's on the shelves and he does all his interviews.
Yeah.
At his media tent, he's always got somebody filming him 24/7. And he had this beautiful girl called Iris who filmed us. And she said afterwards, that was awesome, that's stuff that he doesn't talk about. And, you know, I learned stuff because he doesn't. And that was our goal, was to go in there and say, because he does thousands of interviews, and this guy gets 6 figures for 45 minutes.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But people ask him the same stuff all the time.
Yeah,
and
it's all business stuff and social tactics and all that stuff, right?
It was our goal to go in there and go, right, give us some of you, give us some of the real stuff.
So what was one thing that you asked differently and something different that you learned from it?
Oh, I think that we asked more about his childhood and what kind of teenager he was and how he felt with his parents and what he looks back as the things that his parents did well, and then how is he transferring that back into his style of parenting, because our thing's all around parenting and what can we give to a parent, which then I guess the reason we really focus on parents as well is because if we give them the tools to raise a healthier teenager, then they'll give that tool to their teenager, which in turn raises a healthier adult.
Has a ripple effect, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Across generations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we were like, that was what I thought was the most interesting part, really.
So
and then,
good.
You know, it doesn't matter how rich you are and how great your toys are. We're all in it the same thing. You know, we're all doing it the same way, and we're all vulnerable to the same kinds of things. So we were saying, you know, do you ever lose your shit with your kids? It's like, one of my kids whinges like 24/7. Like, it was just, you know,
that was good because I was like,
cool.
And
we were like,
Gary's kids whinge.
You come home, you're a dad, mate. You're a dad, just like, you know, like the rest of us are parents. And your kids busy you off, you know, and it was really cool just to hear that it doesn't matter who you are. We're all, you know, we're all in the same boat. We're all just trying to do our best.
I believe we're all perfectly flawed. We'll all fuck our kids up.
Yeah.
And so long as we do the best that we can and treat our kids I treat my children as equals. Some people I think come from a parent and kid perspective or child perspective, and it's about authority. And I'm like, nah, we're equals, and we're there to guide them and serve them and nurture them, and maybe share some of our insights, but let them go forward and make the same mistakes we've made, and support and encourage them when they go through that. They're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Of course they're going to.
But
We're all
then
going to.
you're also got to put in and factor in the pressure that's going on in your life. So when there's stuff going on in your day, you might not do that so perfectly. So some days I'm like amazing mum, and some days I'm like bad mum. Like I don't have time to look at your artwork. I don't have time to look at this or listen to your problem because my head is so spaced, and I'm really sorry right now. And then I'll go back and I'll say, I'm really sorry that I've done this.
Yeah,
because this is going on in my life right now.
Yeah.
I mean, not to the detail of what's really going on, but mum's under some pressure right now. So maybe can I come back and have a look at that I didn't spend 5 minutes looking at, that bored the crap out of me 5 minutes ago, but now I really realise that I need to spend some time listening to it.
Just that presentness as well. Like my daughter picked her up from school yesterday, and she told me about her day, and then I asked her about something else, and she said, Dad, I told you about that before, and I was like, oh, I just wasn't present.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I mean by being present.
Present.
Like I'm really trying hard to focus on that being present. Like right now, what does this feel like?
Yeah.
So that, because one of the things that Sonia and I always talk about is that you walk away, and then some of the things that, like right now, you'll go, oh, I didn't really pick that up. Then you walk away and you talk about it as a memory, and you'll laugh about it or you'll think about it, and you go, actually, the memory is much better than what it was when I was here, and I want to relive this again. Yeah. So you think, well, why don't I just love it now, so that I can love it now, and then I can love it when I'm going to talk about it 1,000 times and go, oh, when we saw Brett, you know, when we saw Brett, we did this, and when we saw Brett, we did that, and we felt like this, and blah blah blah. You know, so get in that moment.
Enjoying it for what it is at the time. I'm enjoying this, and I think this is the 6th episode of Hangin Loose. And at the start it was kind of like really self-aware and conscious, and now I think this is probably the most relaxed, free-flowing interview so far. Right?
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it's 100%.
And that's I think that's what's different now when you see a lot of the sort of content that's being put out, is that people are doing this more. They're like, it's like, don't worry about the production values, don't worry about that. Just, you know, like, just have a chat.
Just have a chat. People want real. People are desperate for real and desperate for meaningful connection these days.
I mean, it doesn't mean you can't filter it up a bit, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like,
and be real that your life is not perfect. Like, it's funny because what maybe what we portray on social media, like I've had so many people lately go, oh, your life looks like it's perfect. It is so not perfect, let me tell you. It is so not perfect. Some days I'm barely scraping by and thinking, oh my God, how am I going to cope with all of this, and how's it all going to work, and how am I going to get to this place by that time, and how am I going to deal with all the emotional roller coaster of all the crap that comes in, and managing family is like a bloody nightmare some days.
100%.
So and then you just put your smile on and you get back out there and you, hey, I'm doing all right.
I put something up on my Insta story the other day because I was doing a presentation that I've only done once before, and it was a completely different audience, and I needed to change it up, and it wasn't in my head. Like, our presentations are in our head. We've got hours of content that you can just spurt out, and it's just done. But this thing was different. It was in front of a pretty prestigious university, all the principals, all the deans, all the leadership group from all the different colleges. And I put it on my Insta story. I was so nervous, and people were coming back saying, "What do you mean? You do this every day, don't you?" I was like, "Well, yeah. It doesn't mean that I don't still feel like a bit of pressure sometimes, or that I feel like there's new content that I need to spurt out." And you know, and they appreciated it. Yeah, they appreciated it. And we've been doing this for 18 years, right? So, like, why are you nervous? Well, keeps you on your toes, keeps you on your game, you know, and I think it's good.
Enhances the performance.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, and there's eustress and de-stress, and eustress is the stress that empowers, it enhances what you do, and de-stress puts you totally off your game, right? It's two different.
Absolutely.
So cool.
But then I think what's common with all with the three of us is that when we're doing this stuff, is that's our drug.
This is what we're meant to be doing.
That's our drug.
This is the drug of choice.
Yeah.
It's a good drug.
Like, there's no feeling like when you've just walked away from the audience, and you know, and they're like, you could feel that was really
the
good.
connection and the energy and all that. Yeah, for sure.
They start coming up at the end, but you just feel it. You have those moments during the thing where they got that. They got that.
Yeah.
There's no drug like that.
Or the gratitude you get from when you walk away and somebody will come up and talk to you, and then you can see that you've change their thinking.
Yeah.
Or you'll see a young person, you know,
The
go
shift.
from this to, and you're like, oh, and they walk past, and sometimes they'll either walk past and not say anything, or sometimes they'll say thank you, or sometimes they'll come up and ask or send you a message later or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
But and sometimes it can even be like a year later. Like I recently just got a message back from somebody a year later saying, I just wanted to tell you I've been watching you, and I met you a year ago, you came into my school. I've been watching the story that you've been doing, and I just want to tell you the impact that you've had. Now, in that entire year, they've never liked anything, they've never posted anything. I didn't even know they existed.
I know.
Next thing you get this big story going, like, you've really made me look at things, and I thought it was my job now to let you know what an impact you've got on me.
Awesome.
And that's crazy.
And for most people, standing in front of an audience of teenagers would be it's number one fear.
Terrifying for a lot of people,
Overdying.
right?
Yeah, it's public speaking.
Yeah.
But that's where we come alive, right? That's where we get. So I'm at this presentation down at the Phillip Island. Yeah, I told you I was at the Phillip Island. Spoke at this school, and then when I got in there, the teacher said, "There's a group of boys with a Z." You know what I mean? Like the lads that think they're too cool for school. I'm like, that's my jam, right? Bring them on. Yeah, that is my challenge, and I love it when I can, I can convert them. And there's about 10 of them, 8 or 10 of them. And so I was just warning you, so right, no worries. Came in and they're there, right? They're like 2 rows from the front. There's the boys with the
They're ready.
they're up, and there's like 3 alpha dogs.
They're ready to take
And
you
they're
down.
and they're like, bring it on, and I'm like, you don't even know, mate. It's about to go down, yeah.
And that's actually fun.
To me,
Challenge.
that's like that hooks me in.
Yeah,
like nothing
you're
else.
like, right.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, what do you
But it
got?
brings out the best in
What do
you.
you got,
Yes.
mate? I'm ready, and you don't know.
I'm not scared.
And clearly, we're not 25-year-olds anymore, right? And
Really?
So in our heads, we are.
25 is way too old for me.
Yeah. So when I think when they look at us, they try and stick us in a box somewhere. Like, are they going to preach at us? Are they, what have they got? And you can almost see their body language is like, come on, what do you got? Anyway, so I just started talking, and a couple of laughs, and you start seeing the body language change a little bit, and and they just, instead of being naughty and silly and trying to challenge me, they just got on board, and they were funny. Like, we were bouncing off each other, and the session became really good. Anyway, two of the alpha dogs came up at the end and waited until I'd spoken to some other people. And the 3 hallmarks of leaders, from my perspective, is if they come up and look you in the eye and use your name and shake your hand, they're the 3. That's the thing. That's the common thread through all of the leadership young people that I meet. Is that those 3 initial things in the first conversation we had. And 2 of the alpha dogs came up and they were like, "Sonia, that was freaking awesome, man." Like, he shook my hand. And I was like, just love it, right? So those guys go away and they go, all right, and then they'll dissect your information and they'll take it in, and maybe something that we said will actually be the difference between them being okay and them not. And how freaking powerful is that?
And they feel validated and empowered.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'll never know.
And we'll never know.
Yeah.
And we have to be okay with that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you've done what you're there to do. And
I did a seminar last year, and it was a group of, it was in a really low socioeconomic area. And there was probably only about 50 kids in there, and there was this one kid who was like, the entire time him and I were like playing each other and like laughing, and he was giving me some one-liners, and I was absolutely loving him in the audience, and I could tell the teacher was like, "Oh, like,
and the teachers are like, that's the naughty kid.
That's the naughty kid,
They just put him in a box straight away.
Straight
but I was
Give it
loving
to
it.
us.
And anyway, at the end, you just go, "That was so unreal. That was so fantastic." And the teachers like all looking. I'm like, "Loved having you in the audience. You were unreal. Like, you made me want to."
It gives you something.
Well, it was
it gives you something to
I
work
was
with.
playing. It was a game, right? Anyway, he walked away, and then the teachers go, "You don't understand what you've done." And I said, "What happened?" She said, "Well, we had a speaker 3 weeks ago, and about 15 minutes into the presentation, he walked up to the speaker, looked at him in the face, and said, 'You are like so boring,' right, with a few F words in between. Walked over, kicked a hole in the wall, and just said, 'I'm not wasting my time with him,' right, and walked out, right? And there was this huge, massive hole in the wall that I didn't even realise that this guy had kicked from the speaker before. And now I've come in, and he's like, 'That was freaking unreal!' And that gives me this energy that you go, 'Really?' Like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel good.
Good.
And even like working in juvenile detention centres, like, you'll get in there, and I've worked in a room where I've got 10 kids that are so violent that it requires 10 staff and me. And the 10 staff are just sitting back and I'm hanging loose with these, with these 10 kids. They're so violent. And I'm like, bring it on. And they're like, no, I don't know. And I remember going in, I was 7 months pregnant. My husband found out that I was like 7 months pregnant, put myself into that, right? But I've just walked in, he goes, let me tell you, right, should I be scared of you guys? Because I'm 7 months pregnant. And they're like, no, we'll take care of you, mate, we'll take care of you, you're going to be all right, you're going to be all right. And so instead of having these 10 kids that like, everyone else thinks they're so violent that are probably on the news going, they've ripped apart a juvenile detention centre, they're like, oh no, we'll take care of you, mate, you've got a baby in there, you'll be right. And I had like 3 hours with them of like just going, hey, and making a connection with them. Just, you can't get that drug anywhere else.
And that was from your energy that you took into that room, as others taking in fear, bring out that in the group, and then the actions come out of that, right?
Yeah. And other people were like going, are you sure you want to do this? Are you all right with this? And I was like, man, okay. And
You're
I was
like, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm all right. And I was like, hold on, baby. No wonder I'm giving birth to this crazy kid. Like, I'm going up to prison.
The adrenaline and something.
What's going on, Growing up with like the hardest of crims, I'll deal with that,
Classic.
So I love all of that stuff.
Awesome. So what's next?
Next month we've got a podcast coming out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tell us more about that.
Okay, that's called.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. This
Oh,
is
you did?
I don't know. We're saying it now. It's called the Door Bitch and the Entrepreneur.
Cool. Door bitch, entrepreneur, yeah.
And basically what that's about, it's the first time it's ever been done before. So the podcast is actually going to be divided into 2 parts. So each episode will actually face like an issue that a young person will face or a family will actually face. And then we do record one episode which is directed at parents, giving them all the information on how to tackle that issue. And then there's exactly the same podcast, but it's directed at teenagers. So with a whole different kind of vibe. So for example, if we're talking about bullying, we'll talk about it. So if you're the parent and your kid's being bullied, what do you actually do? How to do? Yeah. And then we're talking about it. So you as the teenager, you can listen to it and go, how do I actually deal with that? So realistically, the parent can either prescribe it to the teenager or the teenager can actually prescribe it to the parent to listen to. But they can both trust that they're both getting the same information, but in their own vibe, in their own information that they need.
That sounds fantastic. When's that coming out?
So nice.
So much,
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. Through podcast one, so you need to download that.
So I was going to say, how can people follow this? How can people follow you?
Yeah, Podcast One app. Podcast One Australia app.
And then all the social media is just at Sonia and Sacha.
Sonia and Sacha on Instagram, Facebook.
They
or
can
just
us Sacha Cleary.
Worth following, folks. Now we've come to the end of the episode nearly.
This is amazing. Thank you for
having
me.
Pleasure. Thanks for coming on. It's been great fun.
And we love watching your stuff.
Thanks.
I mean, we're all in the same vibe here, but you've got some,
Just
it's
hanging
honesty
out.
straight away.
Just honest and
love
who
it.
I am and vulnerable.
And
so.
you go to your meetings in thongs. You
I
dressed it up for us
know,
today. What's
I
going on?
used to have to go to
Nike's on.
I used to have to go to meetings in suits, and I knew at the time it was just not me, and so I used to take the piss a little bit. And when we have customers and suppliers come out to the office, I'd walk in a singlet and boardies and thongs, especially in summer. People would ask me, oh, who are you? And I say, oh, I'm just a cleaner here. And I'd go, and I'd walk off, and then I'd come halfway into a meeting and sit down. Oh, hey, what's going on? And they'd be like, what are you doing in here? And
The boss.
yeah, I'm just one of the co-founders. And they're like, they're kind of surprised, but it makes them laugh, and then creates a good vibe. But anyway, that's past life. Are we ready?
We're ready.
So there's got to be a you as well, alright? Okay, ready?
Yeah,
now remember you didn't know who Kelly Slater was?
Yeah, no. And you know what? Didn't we stay at a hotel that she was staying at or something?
It's a he.
It's a boy. I completely screwed that up.
It's the greatest of all time. That's classic.
That
That was unprompted. Alright.
I still don't know. There must be another chick that surfs.
Stephanie Gilmore, we met.
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I'm hanging out with Stephanie.
Alright, ready?
For that guy,
ready?
but I do know the guy that got bitten by the shark. What's his name?
Mick Fanning.
That's and he
yeah.
punched. Yeah, I do know him.
Alright,
Not
ready?
personally, but yeah. Alright.
Crack me up. Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Get the barrel. There it is.
Alright,
Ready?
you ready? Hangin' loose.
Hang on.
Woo!